Are you ready to get the hydrofacial glow? Loved in 87 countries across the world. It's not a facial, it's a hydrofacial. Now available across the UK. Visit hydrofacial.co.uk to find your nearest location.
I've never even thought of this before, but you should be taking a picture of the Wonderbirds in their nests.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Happy
How are
Friday.
you?
Friday fun day, y'all.
It is. That's true. That's very true.
Is
Honey.
everybody?
I'm feeling very Christmassy. Are you?
Very
Well,
festive. You look
darling, with that
festive.
pencil around your
Thank
neck.
Yes, darling. I know. I never
Debbie,
know
are
what
you
to do
staying?
next.
Debbie, are you staying in Portugal for Christmas or are you coming back?
No, I'm back home. We're in Portugal for New Year, but I'm back home for Christmas. So yeah, but, I mean, I've got grandchildren at home, and I can't have Christmas without my grandchildren. It just
No,
isn't what you do, is it? You know, it's about
No,
the children,
whereabouts
isn't
in
it?
Portugal are you?
In the Algarve.
Oh,
So,
lovely.
I know
yeah,
well.
Whereabouts?
Well, we're in a place called Lully, which is close to Quinta do Lago, Valdelobo, all that area. We're on a hill, and as I'm looking that way, I can just see the sea. It's
I'm
beautiful.
so sorry, darling. You're
Oh.
suffering so much. I'm so
I
sorry.
know.
If only
I
you could
know
be here in the
Albufeira
cold
very
with
well.
us, with the wind and the rain.
I
I'm
know,
so
I know.
sorry.
Well,
We'll come back
I'll
soon.
back to it soon enough.
Yes, Albufeira. I know very well because I was brought up going to Albufeira all the time because we had a villa there.
Yeah,
But it's very sort of over. Well, it's very touristy now, but there was hardly
is.
anyone there, and it started with the Beatles going out there.
wow.
And then, my parents heard about it through Cliff Richard, who had a
Yeah.
villa next door
He's
next
here,
to
yeah.
us.
I
course.
got dropped.
Yeah, I know.
Naming and
Drop.
on the shadows. And Olivia Newton-John, we used to have, hang out with them on the beach
Another one.
and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, another one. Yes, we didn't actually meet John Lennon, but almost.
Almost another one. Yeah.
Nobody's in disorder. And do you know, it's so multicultural, because Portugal's
Yeah.
got Macau in China, it's got Goa, it's got all the African colonies, and everybody of every race, color, creed, whatever, lives together in harmony, which we need to, learn about a lot more.
Yes,
But
we
here,
do.
it's so safe.
We do. Now I'm going to bring in our wonderful guest for Friday, and her name is Margot Raggett. She is friend of the show, wildlife photographer extraordinaire. Here she is. Welcome, Margot. Hello,
Hey.
darling.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back to our nest, darling. It's so lovely to see you.
So
How
lovely
are
to
you?
see you too. I'm fantastic, thank you. And you're all looking amazingly glamorous.
Actually,
We've been
Margot,
upset before.
I've never even thought of this before, but you should be taking a picture of the Wonderbirds in their nests.
Yes. Well said, Debbie. That's brilliant. Darling, will you give us an
Wild
update on your wonderful book, the latest one, Remember Wild Dogs, the African Wild Dogs. They are absolutely amazing, and you were raising money. Will you give us an update on all of that?
So yes, this is the new book. The cover is by a photographer called Neil Aldridge. So this is the 6th book that I've done now. I can't quite believe it, in 6 years. And we've now raised £850,000 so far. And that's without the sales.
Fantastic.
Of the new book. So hopefully we're going to have some sales reports in the next month or so, and Christmas sales will really make a difference for us. And I'm really excited about the latest donation we've been able to make. So our donations are always towards a species featured in the book. And this year with African wild dogs, we were just able to fund a translocation of 2 packs of wild dogs, one from South Africa and one from Mozambique, into Malawi. So Malawi has not had wild dogs since the 1950s. They've been eradicated.
Oh.
Wow.
So these dogs have gone back into some parks managed by an NGO called African Parks, who are amazing. And it was coordinated by the Endangered Wildlife Trust. And it was a saga, I tell you, getting the dogs there because of coronavirus. First of all, the borders were closed the night before they moved. Then there were riots in South Africa. So third time lucky, they managed to get them there in July. And they've just had puppies, which is amazing.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully in the future you'll be able to go to Malawi and actually see wild dogs there again. And yeah, that's what we're all about. Just to actually say we don't want to just remember animals in picture books. We need to try and do something now before it's too late to get their numbers back up.
What was the first thing that started you on this amazing trek of starting this charity? Because it's so fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Well, I saw an elephant that had been poached in Kenya in 2014. We got woken up by the sound of hyenas and went to investigate. And what we found is an elephant who'd been killed by a poisoned arrow. He was only a teenager. And he'd got away from the poachers. So they described to me he was probably shot with a poison arrow. He bolted. The poachers couldn't keep up with him, but the poison would have killed him after 3 or 4 days. And it was so heartbreaking. And I just got mad. So I'm not having this. No, I'm not having this. And I thought, well, what can I do? And the first year I just thought, well, maybe I know a lot of wildlife photographers because I was also working as a wildlife photographer then. And maybe I can get people to donate an image each and we'll just do an exhibition or a book or something and try and raise awareness. And that first book, Remembering Elephant, is still probably our bestseller every year. More and more people continue to buy that book. And so after the launch of that, everyone said, what's next? And I thought, golly, I hadn't imagined I would do more than one, but here I am having done 6 now.
Wow.
And it's a wonderful journey. I get to look at beautiful, beautiful pictures by the best wildlife photographers, choose my favorites to put them in a book, learn all about the species in depth from the kind of scientists and the conservationists who work with them, and then give money back to those scientists and conservationists when we sell the books. So 100% of our profits always go to the projects around those species. So it's a wonderful learning curve for me every year. It can be a bit exhausting at times, but yeah, I'm really delighted of the kind of legacy that's been created for these animals.
Well done. Margot, absolutely. I think you're extraordinary. And I love all the books. The wild dogs had a lot of magic in it. And I feel that animals have got a sort of a sixth sense and almost like a spiritual dimension, you know. I feel that when I meet people who have worked, you know, in sort of remote places and have encountered elephants or, you know, on safari, and they all say the same. Do you find that, have you encountered that sort of spiritual sort of connection with animals when you've been there?
I have, in particular, actually, with elephants, I have, which again is probably the reason I started with elephants. But I had one particular moment in Zimbabwe with an elephant who is actually blind in one eye, and it's in an area called Mana Pools where you can get out on foot, which is very unusual with elephants. And he's such a gentle giant, and he came very close, and he kind of rumbled, and I felt we had this connection. I was crying at the end of it. And then I heard that he could wander into a nearby hunting concession, and because he's so friendly, he would just walk up to the hunters and they would shoot him. And again, I had another, I'm not having that moment. So I raised the money to put a collar on him for research, which meant that hunters wouldn't kill him. But yeah, to answer your question, definitely. You just, you know, we humans don't have any more right to be here than any other animal on this planet.
Exactly.
We seem to think we do.
I mean, that sense of well-being that from you giving this money and doing this, and like you said, taking those to the wild dogs to Malawi, the sense of well-being from you must be absolutely incredible, that you think you can make a difference. I think the whole thing of making a difference, our company has a foundation, and we've raised more than $1 million, and we're giving it to good causes and so on, sort of people that need it, or societies or whatever, and you just get this feeling that, wow, I can make a difference, don't you? And that's what you're doing. You're making a difference to these animals. It's just incredible.
Thank you. I mean, I have to say it's a huge team effort. All of the work is donated by photographers who support me. I've had artists, I've had jewelers, I've had sculptors. Everyone kind of gets behind what we're trying to do and comes together to support what we're doing. And then lots of wonderful celebrities as well, our books every year. I think it's just, everyone wants to do something and people aren't necessarily sure how they can do it. And so I found a way that lots of people can actually make a difference by teaming up with what we're doing. And yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason we're here. That's what gives us purpose, I think, to give back and to look after others.
I agree.
It's amazing. These African wild dogs, I mean, when, you know, can you actually train any of them? Could they become like domestic dogs ever? No,
they have never been domesticated. So they split from the line of domestic dogs millions of years ago, and they've just never been domesticated. But they're not actually a threat to humans. There's never been a case of one being reported as having killed a human. They're more curious about us than anything. But in African folklore, there's lots of tales of how they eat people who wear red and things. So they've been kind of vilified for a long time. And that's part of the purpose of the book, is to try and re-educate people. So I have some essays from African voices in there of people who grew up with, you know, in communities that had wild dogs and had the wrong perceptions of what they were like. But when you watch them, they're like domestic dogs, but they're just the interaction between them and the way they adore each other and treat each other like they haven't seen each other for 20 years when they eat groups and things. It's just, it's so endearing. You can't
because
help
their ears are so, you know, because they are funny looking dogs, aren't they? They kind of look the halfway between a dog and a sort of bush baby. I mean,
yes, yeah. Well, they're amazing ears, and that's what allows them to hunt so well, because they can pick up noises from such a long way away. So and find each other again once they've got split up.
Because we're all completely dog mad on this show anyway, and so I find it very interesting, you know, when you go back to the origins of dogs, because they all started from the same origins, you know, from wolves, and to see how many different sorts. And I just wonder with the wild dogs, I mean, how many other wild dogs are there? The African wild dogs, are there other groups as well?
Well, there's none called, we've got the African wild dogs, there's none that's called technically wild dogs, but there's obviously all sorts of different animals, as you say, like coyotes or wolves, etc. And they all would go back eventually to the same line. But what I love, and the domestic dog, if you think about it, they actually say domestic dogs recognize their family, their owners, mainly by smell, rather than by sight. And I think that's the same for the African wild dogs. And one of the things when they were trying to bond new packs to Malawi, I watched them do, is like a pair from one place and 4 from another, and put them together so they weren't naturally bonded. But while they were anaesthetized in order to move them, they actually rubbed the bodies of them over each other. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Wow.
And apparently that says that they get familiar with the smell of each other, the scent, and then that makes them feel like they're all together and they know who each other is, which is fascinating. There's so much we don't know.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's really incredible, because I do a lot of work with medical detection dogs as well, you know, that sniff out cancer and they sniff out all of these other things. So that, you know, dogs are incredible creatures, as all these wildlife. What you're doing is amazing. Thank you so much for being our guest, Margaret, and come back and see us soon.
Debbie, can I ask, didn't your grandsons love the book?
Oh, my grandsons just adore them. They do the cheetah and the dog ones, and I want all of them actually. Where can I actually buy? They are just the most fabulous books, and they're all on my coffee table. I absolutely love them. They're so pretty.
They're
so
beautiful.
Thank you again, Margot, for being our friend and for doing these wonderful books. Thank you from all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, darling.
Thank you all.
See you
You're
soon.
amazing. And rememberingwildlife.com is where you can get the books.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
She's an amazing woman.
Oh, I
Really
want a
true.
puppy. I want to
Love
puppy
that.
with one of these with the big ears. Actually, Beanie looks a bit like that, doesn't she?
I was going to say, Beanie looks very much like that.
Yeah, she's got the same
It
ears.
is.
Darling, I'm sure she's a direct descendant. She must be.
Yes,
She's so
definitely.
I've just been looking at her. She's snoring actually at the moment on the cushion.
Is she?
But actually, she's Mexican, isn't she, Beanie? She's a Mexican. She's
Yeah,
a Chihuahua.
Mexico. Chihuahua, that's right.
Mexico.
darling, who's coming in next?
Stephen Murphy, and he's
Oh,
going
wonderful.
to talk about what to watch, films, television. Oh, so excited.
Hang on.
There he
Hold on.
is.
I'm in.
Yay!
Hello.
Hey, hi, Stephen.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
We got very drunk last week, didn't we?
We did get drunk. then I went to choir rehearsal after that, Debbie. I don't know if it's any good, but I was certainly very loud.
Do you remember any of it, darling?
Not entirely sure if the notes were correct or not, but I did.
Tell us, darling, what do we watch? What do we see?
Well, it's nearly Christmas in the telly world, isn't
Is
it?
it?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know if anyone told you, but it is. Yeah, I mean, before that, we got some quite nice things on next week, actually, with some sort of pre-Christmas stuff, which isn't too Christmassy. There's a new Sunday. There's a new talent show by Simon Cowell, which he created, which is called Walk the Line. And it's a sort of talent show combined with a game show, because you go on there, and if you win, you get a cash prize, but you can then go on and compete with another act for more money. But of course, if you lose that, you lose all the money. So you gamble on your own talent almost. Wow. And it's all music. Wow. It's all music, but you know, it can be everything from solo rock singer to a duo to a band to a choir. You know, so you could be some big rock singer.
Are you going on,
and then go on, then have a little choir of kiddies to compete with.
Are you going on with your choir, darling? That's
I might pop on with my choir. I'll make sure I've had 2 bottles of rosé first, though, just to make sure I'm
Debbie can be your carer, and then you can go.
Yeah, so that's running sort of all through next week, because I'm a Celebrity finishes on Sunday, and then Walk the Line's running all through next week. So that's quite nice. The other thing as well is the Real Full Monty, which ITV have done for the last few years, which is stripping to raise awareness for checking yourself, basically, sort of the basic sort of cancer checks that you can do yourself. It's kind of to raise awareness of all of that. So it's celebrities stripping, basically. This year's called Strictly the Real Full Monty. So the twist this year, surprisingly enough, is that it's got a bit of dancing in it. James and Ola Jordan, who used to be on Strictly, are a couple who are taking part. Duncan James, Leila Morse from EastEnders. So plenty of people. So that's on next week.
And it is for testicular cancer.
Yes, it's primarily for I can't say testicular,
darling.
It's primarily why didn't it go to drums too? It's primarily for testicular cancer. That's how it started.
You need a drink, darling.
Steve, are they going to be going around dancing with their bits jumping up and down?
Yes.
That's the point.
Yes, they do. They do by the end. They do a little bit more than that, but they do.
I saw the one for breast cancer.
Yes.
And Colin Nolan led that, didn't she? It was really very, very good, very memorable.
Yes, she's in this one as well. She takes part in this one as well towards the end. She's around for that.
Very good.
That's all good, and all a good cause and all great fun. The other thing is we're coming up for Christmas.
No.
So there's a lot. I just thought I'd do a little kind of roundup of the big things for this Christmas. The big kind of lush thing, I think, is BBC are doing Around the World in 80 Days. And that big adaptation of that, big, sort of lots of CGI, lots of stuff. That's got David Tennant in it. And there he is. So that's a big thing. That starts on Boxing Day.
Right.
And runs after that. We've also got other stuff such as there is, do you remember there was a very British scandal a couple of years ago about with Hugh Grant? They're now kind of, I think, looking at doing these every now and then based on a British scandal, obviously. And the one they're doing this Christmas is based around the Duchess of Argyll, which was a great big case in the 60s. She married the Duke of Argyll, and then they had a very, very acrimonious divorce, all sorts of allegations made on court, all over the papers. It was a great big thing. That's got Claire Foy from The Crown. She's playing...
Picture of her, or an anonymous picture, like a headless picture of somebody doing naughty things.
There's a naked picture, yes. And there's also some pictures of someone doing something, I won't say, on a family show. Yeah, it was very, very, it was quite sleazy for the time almost. It was the first kind of big scandal like that that had been played out in the public arena in front of the, in front of the media, so it's that'll all, I think, will be great, because the last one won all the awards. The Hugh Grant one won all the awards. That'll be good. We've got The Girl Before as well, which is a bit of a creepy one. It's based on a novel, and it's about basically a girl moves into this beautiful architect designed home that seems too good to be true. It turns out it is to be good to true, because the architect has all these rules, and he kind of almost like runs the house from remotely, and then she begins getting creeped out. Then she discovers that she's very, very similar to the girl before her who lived in the house, and it all gets a bit creepy.
Very festive, darling.
It's not very festive. No, I've got some festive stuff coming up. How about the masked sing-along for Christmas Day? It's the Masked Singer. It's the Masked, special of the Masked Singer, but they're all doing Christmas songs. And I think they're going to have karaoke lyrics along the bottom. So if you're at home and it's Christmas Day and it's on about 6 o'clock, you might be a bit merry, you can have yourself a merry little Christmas or whatever and sing along. So that's all really good fun.
Sounds good.
And then, The Weakest Link is back. That's coming back on BBC One, and that's been presented by Romesh Ranganathan. I can't say Ranganathan either. I can say nothing today. Ranganathan. Romesh Ranganathan.
Have a drink.
The rosé, sweetheart. It's the
He's
rosé.
presenting that, and they've got a Christmas special, which is quite good because it's a panto one, so everyone's in their costumes. So it's particularly, I think, galling when you're in your big panto costume. You have to do that. You have to do that walk of shame when you get You're the Weakest Link goodbye, and you have to do that little walk of shame. You have to do it in your full panto finery. So that's all good fun. That's got Biggins on it and various other people on that. And then that's also the start of a series. So that's going to keep running. So that's great. Soaps over Christmas, double wedding in EastEnders. I think we've got a little picture of Gray and Chantel and Whitney. It's not Chantel, sorry, Chelsea. Chantel was the one he murdered. As we know, Gray has been on a bit of a murdering spree. And he's about to get married, but Whitney sort of knows the truth, and it's all going to finally, I think, come out for Gray, possibly. So that's a big one in EastEnders. Also in EastEnders, Minxie Janine, who's back, is going to have a little crack at Mick. Sorry, she's going to sort of try and seduce Mick Carter. So will he be able to resist her? Coronation Street, Fizz and Tyrone. As we know, Tyrone dumped Fizz for a younger woman. Greatly regrets it now, but of course Fizz has moved on. She don't want him back. She's seen who he is. So he's going to get a little bit drunk on Christmas Day and try and make a move. But will the joy of Christmas and family, will Fizz think she'd take him back, or should she not take him back? So that's quite a good one for Christmas. And as well, Mina in Emmerdale, who's the serial killer. There's a lot of killers around at the minute, and he's a particularly bonkers serial killer. Why no one knows this girl is a murderer, I don't know, because she's crackers, constantly crackers, has the most weird conversations with people, and no one seems to go, he's a bit weird. Anyway, she's finally sort of caught out to a certain degree by her sister starts to catch her out over Christmas, and it's the kind of crux is, will Mina kill her own sister to keep her own killer secrets? So there's a lot of drama going on, a lot of drama. So that's all the Christmas. We've got some good stuff movie-wise on Amazon Prime. A very good thing, which I'm really much looking forward to, Being the Ricardos, which is the story of Lucille Ball, starring Nicole Kidman.
Oh, wow.
I'm looking forward to. I'm saving that for a nice, between Christmas and New Year afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm saving that for one of those.
What's it called, Steve? Again?
It's called Being the Ricardos.
Being the
Ricardos.
So it's Lucy and Desi Arnaz.
Yes.
Based on them. So that's quite exciting. And at the cinema, fancy, we've got The King's Man, not to be confused with The Kingsman, which is because obviously there was the two films with Taron Egerton. This is a prequel. This one goes back to how this Secret Service that Taron Egerton worked for, on how that became created, sort of back in the past. So that's a big one. That's got Ralph Fiennes and all the stars in it. Gem Atherton, Matthew Good, Tom Hollander, Jameen Honsu. There's loads of people in that. So that's a great big action-packed, big lush one, I think, if you fancy an afternoon at the pictures. So that's good. So there's a lot of entertainment, I think. I think we might be all right this Christmas.
Sounds amazing.
Good.
When do you go back to Scotland, Steve?
I go back to Scotland on the 20th.
Oh, okay.
So whenever that is, or possibly before, if it looks like Boris Johnson or Nicola Sturgeon might close the borders.
Yeah.
If it looks like that's happening, I might leap in a plane a little bit earlier.
Thank you, darling. We'll see you very soon.
Thank you so much. Lovely to see you all.
Thank you, darling. That's fabulous.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's us set up.
Absolutely. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. We've got the lovely Sarah Parish.
Ooh. And Debbie Campbell, who is Glenn Campbell's daughter.
That's right.
She's
Another
also
Debbie.
Debbie for the double Ds. Debbie.
Yeah.
Debbie Paver, thank you for coming to join us.
It's a
again.
pleasure. I've
It's
really enjoyed
lovely-
it. It's been such
lovely
fun.
to see you. You've been
You
so
girls
lovely.
are lovely.
We
Always
adore
lovely.
you.
Thank you.
You too.
Yeah,
You
see you very
And
soon.
have a wonderful Christmas, girls, and a very happy New Year. Enjoy.
And you as well.
Thank you,
And enjoy
darling.
the sun
Thank
and the rain when you come back.
Yes, exactly.
Will.
And we have a few more Christmas messages to go out on. Thank you, guys. We will see you
Thank
on
you.
Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.
Hey there, you Wonderbirds, Debbie, Dee, Sherry, and all your viewers. I just want to wish you a very happy Christmas and a fantastic 2022. May you go from strength to strength. How about Wonderbirds the movie next year? See you soon. Lots of love. Enjoy.
Hi, it is moi, Suzi Quatro, wishing all of you, whoever is there, Wonderbirds, who's ever seeing this, very, very Merry Christmas. And I am insisting that you play my Christmas video. I Need You Home for Christmas. My heart and soul, I Need You Home for Christmas. It's great, and it'll make you cry. Christmas is emotional. Anyway, it's supposed to be a quick message. So, Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.